Hey everyone, let's dive into carbohydrate metabolism. Simply put, it's how your body processes sugars and starches from food to create energy. This process starts with breaking down complex carbohydrates into glucose, a simple sugar that fuels your cells. Think of it as your body's way of converting food into fuel. Carbohydrate digestion starts the moment you take a bite of food. Imagine you're eating a slice of bread or some pasta. These foods contain complex carbohydrates that need to be broken down into simple sugars like glucose for your body to use. In your mouth, salivary amylase, an enzyme in your saliva, begins breaking down starch into smaller sugar chains. It's like the first step in disassembling that Lego set, turning big pieces into manageable ones. The partially digested carbohydrates then move to your small intestine, where pancreatic amylase continues the job, breaking them down further into maltose. Other enzymes like maltase then convert maltose into glucose molecules. Once broken down, glucose is absorbed into your bloodstream through the intestinal lining. This happens via special transport proteins that move glucose from the intestine into the blood, where it can be delivered to cells for energy. To wrap up, digestion turns complex carbohydrates from your food into glucose through a series of enzymatic reactions, mostly in the mouth and small intestine. This glucose then enters your bloodstream, ready to fuel your body's energy needs. Key takeaway: without this breakdown process, your body couldn't access the energy stored in carbs. Next up is glycolysis. This 10-step process happens in the cytoplasm of your cells. Glucose is broken down into pyruvate, yielding a small amount of energy, ATP and NADH. Glycolysis doesn't require oxygen and is a crucial first step in energy production. It's like the opening act of an energy concert. Now, things diverge depending on oxygen availability. When oxygen is present, we call this aerobic respiration. Without oxygen, it's anaerobic respiration. Let's explore both pathways. With oxygen available, pyruvate enters the mitochondria for the citric acid cycle and oxidative phosphorylation. This generates a lot more ATP, up to 38 ATP per glucose molecule. Without oxygen, pyruvate is converted to lactate in muscles or ethanol in yeast cells. This anaerobic pathway produces only 2 ATP per glucose, much less than aerobic respiration. Think of aerobic respiration as the marathon runner. It takes longer, but provides sustained energy. Anaerobic respiration is like the sprinter, quick but limited energy. Key takeaways: aerobic respiration uses oxygen to produce 38 ATP through the citric acid cycle and oxidative phosphorylation. Anaerobic respiration produces only 2 ATP by converting pyruvate to lactate or ethanol. The choice depends on oxygen availability and energy needs. Your body maintains blood glucose levels within a tight range using 2 key hormones, insulin and glucagon. They act like a thermostat, constantly adjusting to keep things stable. When blood glucose rises, like after a meal, insulin is released from the pancreas. Insulin signals cells to take up glucose and promotes its storage as glycogen in the liver and muscles. Conversely, when blood glucose drops, like during fasting, glucagon is released. Glucagon signals the liver to break down glycogen into glucose, raising blood sugar levels. Together, insulin and glucagon create a negative feedback loop. High glucose triggers insulin release, low glucose triggers glucagon. This maintains homeostasis, keeping blood sugar between 70 and 100 milligrams per deciliter. For example, after eating a carbohydrate-rich meal, insulin helps cells absorb glucose, preventing hyperglycemia. During exercise or fasting, glucagon ensures glucose is available for energy. Key takeaways: insulin and glucagon work in balance to regulate blood glucose. Insulin stores excess glucose, glucagon releases it when needed. This hormonal control is crucial for energy homeostasis and preventing conditions like diabetes. When your blood glucose levels drop too low, like during fasting or intense exercise, your body needs to make new glucose. This is where gluconeogenesis comes in. It's the process of creating glucose from scratch using non-carbohydrate sources. Gluconeogenesis primarily occurs in the liver and kidneys. The liver is the main site, handling most of the glucose production, while the kidneys provide backup, especially during prolonged fasting. The building blocks for gluconeogenesis come from amino acids, lactate, and glycerol. Amino acids are broken down from proteins, lactate comes from muscles during exercise, and glycerol comes from fats. The process converts these molecules into glucose through a series of enzymatic steps. It's not simply reversing glycolysis. Gluconeogenesis uses different enzymes to bypass irreversible steps. Key intermediates include pyruvate, phosphoenolpyruvate, and fructose 1,6-bisphosphate. Think of it like building a house when wood is scarce. Instead of lumber, you use bricks, metal, and concrete. Just like your body uses amino acids, lactate, and glycerol to build glucose when carbs are low. Key takeaways. Gluconeogenesis maintains blood glucose during low-carb states, relies on liver and kidneys, uses amino acids, lactate, and glycerol as sources, and is essential for survival during fasting or intense activity. When glucose is scarce, such as during starvation or very low-carb diets, your body switches to ketogenesis. This is like your body's backup generator kicking in during a power outage. In these situations, your body breaks down fats for energy, producing excess acetyl-CoA molecules that build up in the liver. Instead of using acetyl-CoA for energy directly, ketogenesis converts these excess molecules into ketone bodies in the liver. The ketone bodies produced are acetoacetate, beta-hydroxybutyrate, and acetone. These can be used as an alternative fuel source by the body. Ketone bodies are especially important for the brain, which can use them as an alternative fuel source when glucose levels are low. For example, during starvation, the body breaks down stored fats and some proteins to produce ketones, helping maintain energy for vital organs. Key takeaways. Ketogenesis acts as your body's backup energy system, producing ketone bodies that fuel the brain and other organs when carbohydrates are scarce. Carbohydrate metabolism breaks down carbs into glucose for energy. Glycolysis is the first step, followed by aerobic or anaerobic respiration. Insulin and glucagon regulate blood sugar, while gluconeogenesis and ketogenesis provide alternative fuel sources. Understanding this process is crucial for managing diabetes, weight, and overall health. For example, athletes often carb load to maximize glycogen stores for endurance, or those on low-carb diets use ketogenesis as an alternate fuel.